Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and today we're starting Aurion Legacy of Kori-Odan, if I pronounced any of that right. So, I've been trying to play games in December related to Christmas. There aren't very many of them and they aren't very good. And honestly, to my knowledge, let me know in the comments if you know of anything, there's nothing whatsoever that could even be stretched to cover Hanukkah. So I was thinking maybe go with Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa is not a tradition I know too much about, but looking at Wikipedia, it was something made in 1966 to celebrate African culture in a very general and broad term, because Africa being a very large country with many different cultures mixed together, you can't really tell a tale that's specific to any one tribe and call it African. You could tell that tale certainly, but it would be the tale of that tribe. But one of the tenets of Kwanzaa is creativity, and this is a African fantasy by its own definition. And let's just begin there. That's not what I meant to do, but we'll skip the setup. And this should be interesting. The city of Zama. As far as I know, there's no city called Zama. I bet all of this is fake. I believe there is a Marvel city in Africa too. So it's kind of like that story, just on the face of it. In a few hours I will be king. So this is Enzo. I will say that this game pops up a box at the beginning in French asking you if you want to play it in French or English, but it says English in French, which would be Anglish, A-N-G-E-L-E-S. So I had to work through that to get into, you know, something I could read. All my people are counting on me to guide them. Am I ready? Erine and I completed the Nagando ritual. We were proven to our ancestors that we have a strong bond between us. But interesting. So here's the thing. I'm using a controller, but I want to click on this and see if I can click on the Nagando ritual, because it looks like a blue link that would just pop up something, but nope, it doesn't. So back to the controller. Am I really ready to be a good king? Will Erine be the queen Zama needs? So it's kind of an arranged marriage, but I'm clearly worrying over nothing. I'm marrying the most beautiful woman in Zama, and my people have faith in me. I'll wander around a bit, try to relax. The Prince of Zama's last walk. Yeah, that sounds good. I should go and speak to with the griot of Zama. He used to counsel. Man, that's the one word I mispronounced so far that I know I mispronounced. He used to counsel my father in his moments of doubt. This is going to get more action-y. Don't worry, this isn't a visual novel as far as I know. You must be under the palaver tree telling stories to children. Now, you probably are going to be able to pick this up yourself, but I'm going to pronounce a lot of these words as I would try to pronounce a Japanese word, because, you know, of the games that add a culture Westerners aren't really familiar with, it usually is Japanese video games. And so if I see a new word, I am going to try to pronounce it that way, and I'm probably going to mispronounce a lot of things due to that. I have said before, I should say it again, I would love to see a lot of other cultures add games. The Witcher 3 is a great example of a Polish company adding Polish stories to the to the video game world as it is. Left stick moves the player. Press X to talk to people when you're standing next to them. Good to know. Wow, and he is moving fast. And the D-pad has no real control there. I will have to say, though, I could be 100% wrong about this, but this lady compared to this guy compared to this lady all seem to have very different, very wide differences in skin tones, which would probably tell me that they're not all from the same city. It seems like there's a little too much variety there. That's something more you have with African Americans who have crossbred with people of European descent, and they get that variety. Pure Africans usually are pretty dark, and dark as night. And then the clothing style, like this dress is almost Aztecian. And then this dress is like almost Mexican. We got some great music playing in the background. I mean, interesting statue, but this statue looks almost like Greek. And there's a bird flying around, and there's a lamp. Is it a squirrel? Am I just chasing a squirrel? None of the buttons I touch do anything. And she's got some kind of what I would say is a stomach lining water, not like a gourd or pottery that you would expect. Also, let's take a moment and look around. This is not an Africa you would normally see. This is flush and green. Interesting. The Garden of Adonis is a rather peaceful place. All the kings of Zama rest and meditate here. I make sure that all the planets stay beautiful. And her name is Namia. But she has blue hair. And our king looks like he has red eyes, too. Thanks for taking care of this place. My parents were so fond of it. Now if I talk again, is it the same line of dialogue? Yes. Okay, that's good because that tells us that there's not going to be too much conversation. And what is this bird being fed? So it feels like we're in a fantasy world where the majority of cultures were more African, instead of, say, England becoming the colonial empire that spread out and put people of European descent everywhere. There was an African colonial empire. So for all we know, this could be in the middle of what you would say is the United States. Like this could be Napa Valley, California, for all we know. Hello, Prince Enzo. It's the big day today, isn't it? Yes, I'm going for one last stroll around the city before the ceremony. Aren't you overfeeding the chicken just a bit? That's a chicken? We need some chicken for the party later, so I want his last day to be a nice one. She says it so calmly. And this is Mammy Makala. His names are strange. And that's a chicken? Hello, Princess Enzo. If you take this path, you'll find yourself on the main avenue to the palace. Are you new? Do you think I'd get lost in my own city? Royal Avenue Zama. And one would assume that this is the kingdom. Preparations over, and so we'll begin the ceremony. What? The elders and future queen are already inside. They are waiting for you. We will begin the ceremony. I guess when I enter, we'll begin the ceremony. Elder Meridoce. The cave is called Odain Lituba. The residents of the city of Zama come to pray for their ancestors here. The Aurion is indeed tangible here. So Aurion is, I guess, a energy, and that guy was frankly an albino. Now, I think it's probably fair to say that there are a few reasons, maybe not excuses, maybe they're not valid, but there are a few reasons why you don't have a lot of darker skinned characters in video games. Honestly, it doesn't play well in the Asian countries very much, in Japan particularly. It just doesn't. Japan is 99.9% Japanese people, and so they just have no experience on how to deal with people who look different or act different or from different cultures. They're very, I guess, homogeneous is the phrase. We spotted some Radians the other day. I just hope those robbers will stay quiet. Everything should be fine. Today's a special day to relax a little. And see, apparently, this guy has either a magical or a machine in which he is planting or growing plants, yet she's this lady who's bent over, which that is no way to bend over in your life. Don't bend with your back, bend with your knees. You're going to hurt yourself doing that, lady. So yeah, it doesn't play well in Asian countries in general. It doesn't play well in a lot of other countries in Europe. It doesn't play well in, well, it doesn't play too well in Russia either. It doesn't really play that well in the South Americas and Central Americas, and it doesn't play well to a few minority groups, even in well, minority groups might be the wrong phrase. It doesn't play well to racists in North America either. So in a world of market testing, it just doesn't get market tested as highly. When people are asked who do they prefer lighter skinned white people, and Japanese games that have Japanese people in there are drawn usually to look or resemble white people well enough anyway. So if you're playing a Japanese game, it's really easy to forget that a Japanese character is actually Japanese and not just assume that they're white. But if you if you show the same picture to a Japanese person, they'll say, of course they're Japanese. Hekima? Ooh, Hekima is the name of, I think one of the Roman gods or goddesses. Time passes so swiftly. Prince Enzo, today you'll become a king and a husband. As for me, I'll just be a Hekima for a couple of days. I've just been a Hekima for a couple of days. Tachenga. Chenga. Yes, indeed. Seems like just yesterday we were running around in the rain looking for locusts. Why would you be looking for locusts? See, because this is a fantasy game, all of these names don't really have to line up to anything, and they certainly don't seem like they are. But that just could be my ignorance too. I'm gonna speak from ignorance probably a lot in this game, but that's why I wanted to play it more than a lot of other games, as I wanted to see if I could learn something and experience something different. My childhood friend is the prince. My childhood friend, the prince, is Getting married. Well, guess that means we must be all grown up now. Are you taking one last stroll as a free man? If I were in your shoes, I'd have run a mile out of town already. I wouldn't be doing my duty if I left the young ladies of Zama defenseless against a lady killer like you, my friend. Let's see. Elfina, once you're married, will you still come and chat with us? You know, Erine, if I ever manage to get out of the palace again, it'll be a miracle. Is her name Erine or Itina? Too bad, we had a lot of fun together, but I guess that's what growing up is all about. Everyone has to get their own home then. We missed some people. This is another Hekima, so they're like, Hekima must be priestess. Alright, now we have to stop and take a moment here. This is not just an albino. This is clearly a red-headed white lady. The old griot is giving lessons under a tree to the right. That brings back old memories. So, while it may be predominantly people of darker skin, let's look at this guy again. Yeah, he looks pretty white too. I thought maybe it was an albino, but no, that's not right. It seems like there's some mix in here. Good. A little diversity is always good in every situation. Hekima Hilo, good day, young prince. Going on one last stroll before your concordant coronation. Hey, I'm sure your father would protect you. Be proud of you. Man, I miss reading things. I'm running out of steam as far as reading. Hey, Prince Enzo, there's going to be some Archie to feast, right? Yes, I promise, Sanjaga. You can even come back with a full gourd for yourself. Again, maybe a little bit more Mexican looking than African. Oh man, there's too many people to talk to though. I can see the dreadlocks I did are holding up still. You have a lot of hair for a boy, I find. Yes, it's a Kori-Odan family thing, but it will still come and get my locks done here. When Erine does my hair, it's pretty painful. Let's see. Hello, Prince Enzo. Not too much stage fright. I hope you know I could give you some helpful tips on the wedding night, for the wedding night. Or no, fine. I'll figure it out. Of course, you're Kori-Odan. After all, I imagine you're royal in every way. Ahaha. Well, I couldn't say. Oh, man. How many more people are here? This is a big city. Look at this. What? How are these minifigures moving? Magic? Go on, Raphael. Show them your ultimate legacy. Oh man. And there's just more and more of this. And there's quests. Ugh. Look at this guy. He's like blue. Why does everybody call me Muna? It means child in our ancestral language, just as Ju means master. I'm gonna have to speed this up a little bit. Let's go in here and see what this is. The house of Toko. And I picked up some items, apparently. Bread. Just some other items. This is too much, though. This is just too many people to talk to. House of Autumn. And even with a single line of dialogue, we're clearly going to come back and deal with these. And we're having a little bit of loading in between different areas, but it's not too bad. How do you find your blade, Ujasiri? I was there when the great Hecamas made it. So the priests, people made it? So we have an elder. And I'm adding so much time here just talking to everybody. We need to find out how far we can push this before the game actually starts, because this is just like establishing the world. And I wasn't expecting this. And so apparently the ghosts speak to them. And it's an arranged marriage. Okay, let's talk to this guy. He's got a quest, clearly. Memi Mako told me that you are a little stressed. Here, try these herbs and roots with bread. You'll feel better afterwards. Herbs and roots, that is kind of Hanukkah-ish. Of course, let's be honest, when they created Kwanzaa, they based a lot of it off some of the ideas of Hanukkah and Christmas. But it is a probably smarter way to make a more modern holiday, since it seems to be built around ideals and concepts instead of celebrating specific deities or specific miracles in the case of Hanukkah. There's some butterflies. Yeah, but I kind of am just already to the point where I'm speed reading this. Are these carved hands or are these human hands? That would be creepy. Good day, my son. What does the future King of Zama want from an old man like me? You ask him all the questions that are nagging me. Let's see. Tell me about the origin of Zama. A long time ago, Zama was founded in the line of Kori-Odan. Our stories speak of Enzo Kori-Odan, the first king of Zama. It is said that Nasser, those without walls, far from the red veil. Nasser led those without walls, far from the red veil, a great distance from the green veil. Those without walls, the red veil, all the stories concerning Zama, speaking of it, but no one knows what it means. They didn't put a space in between it and means there. The stories point us towards the right questions, young king, but each individual must find their own answers. So, what is the role of the king? The king of Zama defends his people and guides them on the path of the Umoja, the Union. A large part of the people in Zama are made up of the Hecamas, sages who can breathe the Aurion into matter. And that's what practicing the Umoja means. So, they're magical, or at least a lot of them are, but you have to see beyond that. The Umoja is one way of living, and one way of thinking and existing. It's what makes Zama a sacred place that needs defending by the king. The king is its protector. Am I ready? It's a big day today, and I don't know if I can be a good king. How can, again, no space, I guide others towards the Umoja? I still have too much to learn. Umoja is a path, not a destination. Be patient with yourself and you'll do your best. That's the most important thing. Now I can see Prince Enzo. Interesting. Little low frame animation run. I have a feeling it's the Nadim. The whole palace ceremony guard is looking for you. The future queen is losing patience. Here lies Enzo Kori-Odan, the king of Zama, strangled in his bed the night of this honeymoon. Are you listening, Your Majesty? Yes, I'm on my way, Beatu. Thanks for coming. And I can't talk to her. So we're trying to talk to everybody before and just see how far we can go and run out with cold feet. For the party, I'd like to take these cows to the palace garden. They like the grass over there. No, Baba, we can't let them in. Last time, Minnie Makala nearly killed me, and I have to put up with her being moody at mealtimes for a whole week. Too bad, would have loved them to celebrate too. So, some odd cows. During the ceremony, these guys are going to be guarding, and I can't go any further. Alright. So I did look at a few of the negative reviews on Steam for this game, and I could see why people would have trouble and play it for less than an hour. If we've just spent 30 minutes trying to get a handle of what this fantasy world is and how it's all gonna work. And these guys give us some more things. So like, how do I even get to the menu? I guess right now I can't even do anything. So, but I have collected a significant amount of extra things. And then we can come back to where we started. It seems kind of strange because you push the controller downward, but he curves when he walks into this area. So I'm pushing directly down on the controller. It goes there. And then if I edge it a little bit, it just, when it hits a certain point, it goes off the path. It's very strange. Here we go. Yeah, I could see people trying to get into this game and it just taking too long to set up. It would have been even longer if I'd even talked about the settings. And see, now you've got a little bit of more Egyptian culture with belly dancing happening in the background. Persian style things. Although Egypt is part of Africa, it considers itself. Most people don't realize that or recognize it. Like if somebody's Egyptian and they call themselves African, they'll usually get looked at funny. In fact, in the back right there's just a whole section of kind of scantily clad ladies and this snake charmer looking pipe player, and then behind them is a huge table of steaming food that looks pretty varied and wild. And then when you move to the left, you have all the hikamas in just a full-length dress with a large headpiece. It's quite the split. And it looks like there's a pirate in the front there, and down below there it looks kind of another guy that looks like he's in different dress. Like a ton of different cultures and styles of dress here. It's just a weird mix. And I guess we will end this episode here. This isn't a cutscene, so we can't skip it. But I imagine we need to get into the action. The only thing that's going to be problematic here is, now that we've done all the setup, and I guess we could look at the options quickly. It's 1080p. I turned up anti-aliasing, post treatment, and turned off vertical sync. Controllers on the Xbox One controller, Xbox 360 controller works fine. Difficulty average. You know, I probably will turn that down to something else easy later. So there wasn't really a lot of options to even touch upon. Maybe that's the new way I'll do things. I've been trying to figure out ways to not spend the first 5 minutes talking about options in series. The only problem, to finish my sentence, the only problem I think we might have with is if we get into the actual action section, which this is kind of a brawler style game where you're going to be running around an area, I think, and fighting enemies, but it's also a little RPG-ish because we've already seen we're collecting things that increase our health. If it turns out that even on easy the controls are bad and it doesn't play well, that's going to be an issue. But we'll have to get to that point to find out. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.